their process. And so what they're really talking about is establishing sort of this pattern library, this style guide. Anna Debenham is like one of my favorite people working in the web today, and she is who I'd consider to be the authority on style guides. And she wrote an article a couple years ago for 24 Ways that articulates, sort of what these things are, how you use them, and the benefits. And what she found is, and what she says is that establishing this sort of pattern library makes things easier to test, right? Establishes a better workflow instead of just thinking from page to page. You're starting to think about these like abstract components. You're establishing a shared vocabulary amongst everybody in your team. And it's this useful reference to keep coming back to again and again. And so she has this roundup. Highly encourage you guys to take a look at this of front-end style guides. So she rounds them up. Whenever someone publishes them, she'll throw it on the pile, which is fantastic. And just a couple of them. I'm probably familiar with this one, but this is Pairs, which is created by Dan Cederholm, which is basically a pattern library maker for WordPress and stuff, which is great. Brett Jankard has a really nice one on GitHub called, I think it's just called like Style Guide Boilerplate, right? Where it's just sort of dumping out all of these different components. Jeremy Keith wrote this nice little thing called Pattern Primer, where it just basically loops through with PHP and just sort of sucks up all these little HTML fragments and spits them out, which is really cool. Paul Robert Lloyd took that and sort of took it a step further and created this thing called Bare Bones, which is more robust, right? Because it includes style guide, this like basic setup, and the pattern primer. So this is what it looks like, right? You have these different headers and stuff like that. You have different patterns. So here's sort of like a breadcrumb, a vertical navigation, stuff like that. Form examples, right? You guys, has everybody seen the Starbucks style guide? It's fantastic. And we have Jeremy to thank for that, because he was emailing with the developers there, and they shared this thing, and they said, hey, we have this, here's this documentation that we created whenever we made a responsive site. Would you like to see it? And Jeremy got them to publish it, which is fantastic. So just sort of a glimpse under the hood here, right? Here's what Starbucks is thinking of. They have these block 3-ups, as they're calling them, these featured little modules here, right, with like little image dimensions and everything. Examples of tables working in a responsive environment. I love this.